Welcome to We Geek Podcast. Today is Wednesday, August 26th, and I'm Adam, joined with my good friend Logan.
Hello.
Hello, and yeah, man, another week. A lot of stuff. At the same time, I don't know, it's kind of weird. There's really not a lot of stuff, just a lot of weird movie news and stuff like that, but we'll get to it all. Few of us saw a few things over the weekend. I'm catching up to you, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh yeah. Got some news coming up about the N.FM. We're still doing our show the same, kind of breaking it up. We should be going not live, but we should be going up on their station sometime early next month. We're trying to get the date and time nailed down. Still haven't nailed it down yet, but we're getting to it. So again, same old thing. We're going to be going over movies, TVs, all your geeky stuff in one place. And yeah, man. So how was your week?
Good.
Play any games? Do anything different?
No. Played a lot of Rocket League.
Oh yeah.
it's an addiction. It really is. I'm trying to think of anything interesting. Come back to me.
Yeah, no, I'm doing the same thing, but I'm just playing Destiny, of course, getting ready for the Taken King. Got some news about that later.
Everybody run and get your drinks. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, man, I'm excited for it. So yeah, I've been trying to get my guy up and I'm trying to do one last thing in the game, like do the level 35. It's not a raid, but basically the last thing you do in the game before the expansion. So I should make it easier this week. Iron Banner's this week too. So I don't know, just been hanging out. Trying to think. Oh yeah, my buddy was in town, and he's still in town. So that's a problem. He leaves, I think, on Thursday, so I'll have a week to break, and then actually another friend's coming into town, so it's going to be a whole nother nightmare.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but in the meantime, I slip away and I do my nerdy thing, and I found a way to go see Straight Outta Compton, and saw a little bit of SummerSlam, Fear the Walking Dead, read a little bit of comics, so we'll go all into that. We'll go all into that later. And yeah, I think at the end of the show we'll do reviews for all those. I finished Ballers as well. I don't know, you don't watch that show, do you? I
did watch the pilot, and I saw that and I was like, okay, this is going on the list of once the season's over, then I'll watch it. It's
right.
It's on there with Better Call Saul and Hannibal and 10 or 12,000 others I just haven't gotten to yet. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, it's really enjoyable, and I'll talk about that later. I'll get into that later. But yeah, man, let's get into it. Let's get into the first thing. Moose Jaws.
Moose Jaws.
Right. So it's the script for Kevin Smith's third film for the True North trilogy. So this is with the other one with the walrus, right? The Tusk.
Yeah, Tusk, and then Yoga Hosers, which he's just finished, and then Moose Jaws.
Right, and so it's in the same world, right?
Yeah, they're all Canada films.
Okay.
And some of the characters cross over. Johnny Depp's character from Tusk will be in Yoga Hosers. His daughter and Kevin Smith's daughter played the convenience store clerks in Tusk, and Yoga Hosers is about them.
Okay, but is it going to have any sort of horror or anything like that?
Yoga Hosers won't, but Moose Jaws will.
Right, okay.
Kevin has described it very plainly. He's always said, it's just Jaws with a moose.
Oh,
that's
okay.
You can't get any more just kind of, why did they call it Moose Jaws? Well, because it is.
So which one of his podcasts does he talk about? Because I guess I only listen to the Fat Man on Batman, mostly.
Smodcast and Hollywood Babylon.
Okay, which one? Because one of them they do like live in a studio or live on stage.
Hollywood Babylon.
That's Hollywood Babylon.
Yeah.
Okay.
He came up with Tusk on Smodcast. And if you haven't found it, it was episode, and I had this written down somewhere. It was like 143 or something. It's called The Walrus and the Carpenter, and it's the whole process. He and his buddy Scott Mosier, who he's worked with forever. It was just they were reading headlines off of a Canadian news site, I think it was, And it was, basically kind of the banal premise for Tusk, the simple premise of just like wanted, lodger, free rent if you'll dress up as a walrus for 2 hours a day. And they just, you could hear them, like, they talked the entire movie through.
Right.
And then at the end of it, he was like, well, hell, nobody's going to make this movie, but I want to see it. So
right.
I'm going to throw this out there on Twitter, and if you want me to make it, I'll make it.
Right.
And his fan base answered. But it's fascinating just to hear him go through, like you actually get to see the process of it. It's fascinating. But yes, Smodcast and Hollywood Babylon, which he does with Ralph Garman, who's on K-Rock. He's on the Kevin and Bean show.
Right.
And there's a piece of trivia. He was the radio narrator on Agent Carter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was like the narrator of the Captain America Adventure Hour. Whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so he had.
No, I've heard it a few times. I'm not a fan of the Hollywood Babylon.
No.
The whole live aspect, it kind of takes me out of it. Like, that's cool every once in a while, but I feel like I'm missing part of it because I'm not there in the audience seeing what they're doing or whatnot. Is Smodcast more like just a traditional podcast?
Yeah, okay. It's just him and Scott in the studio. Yeah.
Then that's the one I think I'm going to want to listen to. I was, like I said, I was listening to the Fat Man on Batman, and he just did 3 episodes with Josh Trank.
Was it only 3? I thought he did 4.
I think he did 3. He just did another one, and it was just like, oh shit, that happened.
Yeah.
Like they're like just talking about, like, he kind of called him and he was like, hey man, it happened to me. He's like the day I got kicked off of an airplane because I was too fat and the whole world turned on me, and he was just like, I've been there, man. You can come back from it. Like, it's one film. He's like, dude, I did Jersey Girl. Like, Jersey Girl. Yeah, he was like, he's self-deprecating. So he was like, dude, this happens. Like, you gotta come back. You gotta whatever. But yeah, they were just like, just how crazy bad the reviews and everything were about it. And he was like, man, I did Tusk. He's like, I know. But yeah, man, that's the only one I really like. The Batman on Batman I constantly listen to. So I know he's got a ton more.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Crew. Yeah. So, but that's cool. That's cool. This next piece of news I thought was really cool. The Man of Steel 2. That George Miller is rumored to direct the sequel to Snyder's film.
I love this news because this is so far out of left field.
It's crazy. Yeah. I was not expecting that. I loved Mad Max, and just like it's so weird and such a different direction that if it's anything like Mad Max, just the pace and the constant going and going. If you could do a Superman film like that, hats off to you.
It'd be a nice change of pace from seeing Zack Snyder's everything. Like just
I think Zack Snyder makes great trailers.
Yeah.
Like, he does fantastic trailers.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Right. And he just takes those trailers and he just makes movies out of them, and they're a little bit long in the tooth, trailers. But yeah, man. No, I've been, and that was one thing, I guess, kind of talk about Fat Man on Batman for a second. That's one thing they talked about, was that apparently there was a screening of Batman vs Superman on the Warner Brothers studio lot.
Really?
And yeah, and apparently there was a standing, cheer at the end, standing ovation, especially for Ben Affleck. And that rumor is that they are on works for doing not just one Batman movie, but 3. Because that's how much they believe in Ben Affleck, and that I don't know who was the one that came out of it saying it, but apparently someone high up at Warner Brothers was like, this is going to be the definitive Batman. And of course, most people are like, wait a second, those Dark Knight trilogy, Christian Bale, but apparently that's how well received he was that the people watching it. So I don't know, of course we haven't seen it. Everyone on the planet hasn't seen it, so we'll find out, but that's only good news. It's, hey, I've been championing him, you have too, since it was announced him as Batman. We all know Ben can act, and he's got the chops, and I can't wait. I hope the hype pays off.
Yeah, totally. No, I as much as I come down on that movie for so many different things that we don't really know yet, I want it to do well. I want it to be good. I want movies that I think when I look at a movie and I think, boy, that's gonna suck. I usually want to be wrong. The problem is I'm usually not, and that's a bad thing, you know.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I hope it's good. I'm not crossing my fingers, but I hope it's good.
Oh yeah, me too, man. This next one's kind of weird. Vin Diesel says he's back for the third XXX film.
Yeah, because people already forgot that there was a second one.
Right.
Because he wasn't in it.
Right, Ice Cube, man. They should do it together. Now, I completely forgot what happens in XXX and XXX 2. Are they both clearly? Vin Diesel's character's still alive. Is Ice Cube's character still alive in XXX 2?
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
He's kind of going back to the well with a lot of these films.
Well, hey, it worked for Riddick.
Well, it worked for Fast and Furious, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Second he got back in, it blew up. They're doing another Riddick too, aren't they?
I don't think so. I think that was part of his deal for coming back to Fast and Furious was that they did the last Riddick.
I always thought he was doing another one.
No, I don't. I don't know. I may be wrong, but I don't.
Oh wait, there has been 3.
Yeah. They just did the one with Batista and Katie Sackhoff, and I forget who else was in it.
Right, there has been 3. Okay, I was going to say they were going to finish that off. Duh, I'm so sorry.
It's all right, but they're going to start filming XXX 3 in December, right? I think you said. Right.
Yeah. No, it's that'd be cool. What is this? What is this Independence Day resurgence news?
The sequel. It's shot. It's the principal photography is done. This was the week of movies wrapping. We had 4 this week?
Yeah, there was Independence Day, there was
Civil War,
there was Apocalypse and Suicide Squad.
Yeah, all wrapped in the space of 3 days.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude, and I saw those tattoos. It's so funny that they all got those. I can't believe they did that, but I'm talking about Suicide Squad, of course.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. So I thought that was nuts that they all went and got, and they did it themselves. Like they let each other tattoo each other. So.
Well, hey, cool. You have to be a little crazy to be in the squad.
Oh yeah. And Olivia Munn. That's her name, right?
Yeah, you had it.
I saw she's been doing. Have you seen her Instagram where it has a bunch of videos of her doing her kicks and stuff?
Yeah, all the training she's doing for Psylocke. That's intense, man.
Yeah, man.
She's going hardcore with it.
It really is. It really is. Well, hey, we'll be right back. We'll finish up the movie news. So if you're listening, just stay tuned, and of course, listen to theend.fm. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back. Yeah, man. So let's get into some more movie news here. Some Star Wars news, actually. Now, I was torn. I don't even really want to talk about this.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think it's really spoilery because it's not.
But I didn't want to know it.
I'm okay with knowing it because this makes it more interesting. Now it's
I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to know anymore.
I hear you, but it's I tell you what, maybe we'll not talk about that piece of news.
Okay.
We'll talk about the other part. Anybody can go look at whatever else, but I thought the other part was kind of interesting.
Right. When we get into we'll do reviews later on in the show. When we do a lot of the reviews, we'll do spoilers for I don't know, Straight Outta Compton, one of those, something like that. And I'll talk about the Star Wars stuff until then. But yeah, let's talk about the second part now. The Nazi stuff, right?
Yeah. This I thought was interesting because it's a good point.
Right. And it was, that basically J.J. Abrams said, and I'm not quoting it verbatim, but he said, what would happen if the Nazis all went to Argentina?
Well, no, not if they went to Argentina, but the ones that escaped to Argentina, what if they came back?
Right, and started working together again.
Yeah.
And, what could be born of that? Could the First Order exist as a group that actually admired the Empire? Could the work of the Empire be seen as unfulfilled? And could Vader be a martyr? and could there be a need to see through what he didn't get done? So it's kind of like neo-Nazis, as if they had any real power, in the universe and whatnot. And so that's really cool. I really love that idea. This and the other piece of news kind of tips the hats to the rumors we heard earlier, about how Darth Vader is seen as this martyr, as this huge thing that is like, we want to know everything about him, artifacts about him. We saw the helmet in the trailer. Now the Empire is this thing that it's like, well, hold on. That's not dead. We can bring this back and make it bigger and better and whatnot. So it definitely makes it interesting.
Totally. And it raises another point of how long has this been going on? Like, we know the movie is going to be kind of real time delay from
30 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, has this kind of like smaller scale Civil War been going on for 30 years? Or is this, maybe something relatively new? Not like brand new, because you can see like they have, this has been going on a while, but I mean, has it been 30 years? Has it been 10 years? Has it been 5 years? That's what I'm curious about.
Oh yeah. No, I'm totally in. And this is one of those things where like, we're getting so close to December. I don't want to know anymore. I really hope that's it. I don't think JJ loves to keep things close, cards close. Especially, I mean, look at Star Trek. He didn't want anyone to know for the longest time, who the villain was in the second film. And, he denied it and denied it and denied it. And then we found out, So hearing this, I think I'm backing what you're saying, that like, he doesn't care that we know, about Kylo Ren and whatnot, because that's what the news is about. Like, he doesn't care about that stuff, because apparently it's not going to be like the defining thing in the film, or like a big spoiler or something.
Exactly. Yeah, and that was why I was okay with it, because it's not like, it's not like he's revealing parentage or something like that that could be a massive spoiler or anything.
Oh, yeah.
If that's a thing. We don't even know.
Man, I can tell you, coming out of this, I forgot what article, I don't have it in front of me, but it was saying a lot of people are starting to name their kids Finn and Kylo and Rey, coming out of this, hearing that these are the names in the film, that's kind of cool, right?
Well, it balances out the news that I saw that parents have been naming their kids Anakin.
Yeah, Anakin too, that was another one. Yeah.
That's just sad. Like, you're sitting, look, I'm all for nerd pride. Believe me, I go to work wearing my Attack on Titan cape, but
I mean, I like it. Like, for example, my nephew's name is Lucas. I like that.
Well, that's fine, but I mean, like, first of all, Anakin's just kind of a silly name. I'm sorry
you're right.
I'm sorry for anybody out there if that's your name, but come on, it is.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get what you're saying. It could be Poe. No, I'm just kidding. Oscar Isaac's character. No, I like Kylo. I think that's really cool. My brother's name's Kyle, so, I might start calling him Kylo. But, Finn is also another name that actually, you have Finn and Jake, right, from Adventure Time.
Well, and I mean, Finn's a name that's been around forever.
Right. Rey's kind of different, too. R-E-Y. But yeah, man, I don't know. I thought it was cool. The names are strange, but, you could be Supreme Leader Snoke, or whatever his name is.
But I'm telling you, like, sometimes, you have to find the line,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I hear you. Some other, we'll get past some dumb news real fast. They're shooting 50 Shades of Grey at the same time. They like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
Oh, the next two?
Right. It made a lot of money, the first one, right?
Well, duh.
Right.
How could it not?
Well, I mean, it critically was just shamed all over just how bad it was.
As well it should have been, but, this movie was... it's destined to make just boatloads of money.
Right, exactly. So, the studio's smart. They're gonna shoot them both. They're gonna make them, so it's like, hey, we might as well just do production at the same time and get it done and over.
Yeah, it's not like anything happens in those movies, so...
Right. Did you ever see it?
I did, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I never saw it.
It's terrible. Like, it's genuinely terrible.
Right.
And the way that, spoiler alert, the way that it ends is atrocious, because it doesn't. It does a Sopranos thing, where they get to a point and they're like, and cut. It's like, wait a minute, what the hell, what happened? They're like, well, the movie's over.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know that, but like the plot, like there was there was, wasn't there? Weren't you watching? Oh, that's right. No, there wasn't any plot. There was no character development. There wasn't anything.
Yeah, no, man, I don't know, but yeah. So 50 Shades of Grey fans, you're gonna get. It's probably do it where it's like release one year and then the next year.
Yes.
I did see the Hobbit: Battle of the Five Armies. The extended edition was rated R.
I find that news fascinating because I want to know why.
Wasn't there like a violent death in the end of that?
Yeah,
I don't want to spoil anything.
But like, aren't there always violent deaths?
No, but I mean, like, this was a really, I forget what happened.
This must have been, like, something, really intense. Like,
right, like, there's gotta be someone getting beheaded or something like that.
Well, I mean,
That's the thing, though. If you're getting the extended edition of The Hobbit, you don't care. You want it, like, this is I guess the only kind of warning, like, if you have kids or whatnot, probably just get the regular edition.
Yeah. Or,
check
it out for yourself and see, like, oh, this is nothing compared to when
right.
I mean, God, how many, like, seriously.
No, that's true. No, I mean, I remember seeing, like, Aliens as a kid. I was totally confused when the guy got ripped apart, and I was like, are those what insides look like? But my dad was like, no, he's a robot. It's fine. Everything's fine. He kept saying that, and my mom's like, this is not cool, but he's like, he's fine. It's a robot. I was like, wait, well, what's going on? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I was old enough to like, oh, okay, that's weird.
Yeah.
But you're right. You gotta watch it before your kids, see if they'd be okay with it. But it's The Hobbit. I mean, yeah, I can't imagine it's like gratuitous sex or anything like that. This was another cool one that they're this other piece of news they're doing in the comic books. So it makes sense if they go this route. But and maybe I put this in the movie section because I think it's for the film, but it might be a TV show. But for Blade, rumor is that the reboot will focus on a female Blade, his daughter.
Yeah, the comic is centering on, and I have her name. Give me a second. Fallon Gray.
Okay.
And it's his 16-year-old daughter. And they're saying that the reason that the comic was delayed, because it was supposed to have been out by now, the reason they're saying it was pushed was to coincide with this release.
Ah, okay.
So that could be interesting. I'm all for that. I don't want to see Wesley Snipes reprise his role. I just don't.
Yeah.
I like Wesley.
I mean, I'm sure if they do this, he'll just be like, he'll be in it, but not the main character.
I'll be all right with that.
Cameo.
Like as a torch passing, I'd be okay with that.
Right. That's what I think it would be. It would be like like I've said this before, and I'm sure you don't want to see this, but like I said, in the Daredevil or these Netflix shows, if he pops up for like a cameo, and it's like, they're doing whatever, and all of a sudden there's a vampire. You see him, and he just makes an appearance and saves the day for a minute. I'd be cool with that.
I'm all right with that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these characters, you don't have to have full seasons for. Just like the Punisher, like, he probably will work best as, like, a side character. Someone that's not the main guy, and he's there, and he's powerful in his scenes, and that's it. That's all you need to see of him. So I did see some other comic book news that Gambit finds its female lead. Take her name, because I don't know how to pronounce that.
Hang on, I lost it.
She's a French actress.
Yeah, where did it go?
It's like Leah
Seydoux, I believe. And I'm probably screwing that up too. She was in. She's going to be Inspector. She was in Ghost Protocol.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good, very talented.
Oh yeah.
And a great choice.
Yeah.
She's going to play Belladonna, the leader of the Assassin's Guild.
Nice.
So the more I read about Gambit, man, the more I'm looking forward to. Gambit was my X-Man.
Yeah,
he was my favorite, hands down.
Oh, okay. See, I was a Wolverine guy, but I did like Gambit.
Yeah.
He looks so cool. So drawing as a little kid, I love drawing Gambit.
Yeah.
Like and I hope they match it. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I want that thing around the face. I want the purple eyes. I want that chest weird thing, even if it's for a moment, just a moment. They did Psylocke great. I would love to see Gambit like he is in the comic book.
I would rather you have, it's interesting because in Apocalypse you have two completely clashing sides of like, they did Psylocke really well. They did Apocalypse like Ivan Ooze. Like
Yeah, exactly.
Wow,
Fox is weird. Like Marvel, when you know Marvel movie's coming out, we have a good idea of what Doctor Strange is going to look like. He's probably going to look a lot like his comic book counterpart, just like everyone else that Marvel does. But when it comes to Fox, it's like this could be really good or really bad.
Yeah.
Look at Deadpool. Deadpool is about as spot on as Fox has ever got.
And I hope that's because Fox took a very hands-off approach to it. I hope it comes out that they kind of said, "Hey, you're on your own here."
Right. I seeing the photographs of when they did X-Men Apocalypse, I hope there was someone with the finger on the pulse going, all right, everyone is hating Apocalypse, but they are loving Olivia Munn right now. They love that outfit because it looks like she just came out of the comic book.
Exactly.
And even though it's, of course, ridiculous in the real world, but guess what? It doesn't matter. We're past that now. We are above and beyond that at this point. We are full-on comic book movies. So, So that's something Fox really needs to work on. Where are we at here? Okay, yeah, we talked about Suicide Squad, Captain America. Some sad news. Patrick Stewart doesn't think he's going to be doing Picard anymore.
Oh no, because we've missed him so much these last 20 years.
Well, he's my favorite captain. I gotta say that. So, I would have loved to see him appear in the new film somehow. Time travel or what have you.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm a huge fan of Next Generation.
I would love it, but I'm not bummed.
Right. Yeah, no, this is one of those things we kind of assumed anyway. But we're going to take a real fast break. If you listen to the podcast on iTunes, we'll be back in a second. Again, listen to the.fm. That's our new home, and we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. Got some movie news to finish up, then we'll head into some television. I saw that, Hawkeye came out and said whose team he's on in Civil War. He's on Captain America's side.
Makes sense.
What? But which? You're right. Actually, never mind. That's right. I was thinking he's going to be at odds with Black Widow. His best friend, and she's apparently going to be on Team Iron Man, which makes no sense because you think she'd be on Team Captain America, right?
Well, here's the thing: we still don't even know what they're split about, really.
Oh. Well, they were split. Yeah, didn't we read earlier that they were split because they're fighting? Should we talk about this? Should I say it?
Well, I'm sure.
They're fighting Crossbones, and Crossbones is. I don't know if I should spoil it. Should I say there's a rumor? Something happens with Crossbones. Okay, let's just say that something happens with Crossbones, and there's some deaths, and basically the government feels that these superheroes are just kind of unchecked. And it's kind of like the comic book in a way where they're unchecked. We need to be able to everyone needs to be, kind of held on trial for what they've done as a superhero or whatever. And this all kind of revolves around Bucky Barnes, where Captain America is like, no, that's my friend. And that's why you see in the clip after Ant-Man, spoiler, that, he's on the run with them and that he's trying to protect his friend because he believes his friend was brainwashed to do what he had to do. And he doesn't want to see his friend be executed by the government because of it. So that's where Iron Man is like, no, like we need to regulate. Everyone needs to be held accountable. And Captain America's like, that's not okay. The government's just going to be a witch hunt now for anyone that wants to do whatever. So anyway, yeah. So that's apparently what happens. And so that's how also Black Panther gets involved is because apparently Bucky Barnes we've seen where he assassinated a lot of people throughout time, and that somehow ties into the Black Panther.
Well, and I've got to imagine Hulk tearing up an entire city down there didn't help much.
Bingo. Oh yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Iron Man, it's easy for Iron Man to say because he's come out. First movie he was in, he was like, I'm Iron Man. So he's already kind of been on public trial. But it's I don't know. So it's I don't know. It's gonna be cool. And I also saw that rumor was Spider-Man is gonna be on Iron Man's team. So hopefully we get to see Iron Spider. That'd be really cool.
I would kill to see that Iron Spider armor.
Yeah,
that would just be ridiculously awesome.
Even as just like hanging up as like this is what I thought about, but nah, not yet.
Or a schematic. Just give me they had Jocasta in Age of Ultron was just like a little strip of tape on an AI chip. Like,
Right.
I'll take something like that. Just show me a schematic of like, I'm working on some things.
And that's the studio that will do it. Marvel's the studio that'll do it. They have people in there that have known these comics for years. Their brain trust, and they're like, just put that in there. It doesn't take much. It takes an animator, doing up a sketch real fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought that was cool. This other bit of movie news I thought was really interesting. Nintendo is open to movie adaptations. Minamoto said. So what do you think about that? Like an open Nintendo movie universe?
Just please, God, don't make another Super Mario Brothers. Like, that's
No,
all.
no. This is what I would think they would do.
That's all I ask.
They have this deal with Universal. So my guess is they would probably go with who's the studio on Universal with the DreamWorks, right?
The animation?
Right.
Yeah.
Is it DreamWorks? Universal's DreamWorks?
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah? No, wait.
So,
I don't know. Yeah. Let's go with that for right now until I'm. I should know this. Like, I'm supposed to know these things.
Right. So okay. So I mean, the smart move, of course, would be to go, hey, Pixar, do a Zelda movie, do a Donkey Kong movie or something like that.
God,
So
could you just
Mario.
imagine an animated
Oh, yeah.
a Pixar Zelda movie? I would $2 billion. Thing would,
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. I guess Universal isn't. DreamWorks, that more is with Paramount. So, who knows? I could see DreamWorks or Pixar honestly doing some Nintendo films, and they don't necessarily need to cross over or anything like that. But why hasn't this happened before? We all know Mario was a bad movie, but I mean, like as an animated movie, it could be good. It could be a cool movie for little kids. The little kids would love that.
Yeah, you could totally do Nintendo games as and not just like little tiny children movies, but as kids films. They would work. They would totally
Zelda
work.
would make a great animated film, like
absolutely.
CGI.
Metroid, come on.
And you wouldn't just get kids in the theater. You would get grown men in the theater, that played that in the 80s, sitting around and grew up with it throughout the years. God, could you imagine a Zelda? That would, the amount of money, this is one of those things. Nintendo, we've said this a million times, they leave a lot of money on the table because they want to be really protective of the property, understandably, but God, this could bring them out of the kind of hole they've dug themselves in with the Wii U.
Yeah, now they need money, so they kind of have to. They kind of have to start exploring these options.
Oh yeah. I saw that Deadline's reporting that Bryan Cranston has joined up in a film called Why Him, which plays him as a father who visits his college-age daughter and finds him in a battle of wills with her new tech billionaire boyfriend to be played by James Franco, and it's supposed to be a comedy.
See there, you lost me at the very end. I was like, as long as it ends with Cranston, like, throwing Franco off the hospital roof or something, I would...
No, I'm sure, who knows, it could be a dark comedy, but apparently, Bryan Cranston can do comedy really well. I listened to his podcast on the Nerdist a few days ago, and he's funny. Like, he's a funny guy.
He is funny.
He's got range. He's good serious. He's good Walter White. He'll always go down as Walter White. That's what most people know him by. He came out at was it EDC Las Vegas not too long ago, and I forgot what DJ was out there, but they mixed in that whole I'm the one who knocks into one of their songs, and he came out on stage and like told the whole audience, he was like, I'm the one, what's my name, or something like that, and they lost their minds.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm actually going to be going to. You ever heard of Tomorrow World?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to be going to that this year, actually next month. So I'm hopefully something like that happens. That'd be really cool. If someone went out on stage and, who knows, NWA, something like that'd be really cool. Oh, I'd love that. But yeah, so anyway, so I don't know. I thought that was a cool little movie news. We're almost done with film. Let's see here. War of the Planet of the Apes found its James Franco, Jason Clarke type character in someone named Gabriel Chavera. Have you ever seen him before?
I don't recognize the name.
Well, it's probably because I'm butchering it.
Chavarria.
Yeah. No, I
still don't recognize him.
Yeah, I don't know either. So, which, that's okay. We didn't, when Star Wars came out, no one knew who Mark Hamill was either, so Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, no. So that's it for the movie news. We can get into some TV. But yeah. So let's see here. First thing, we got Marvel's Agents of Shield. Matt Willing.
Matt Willig.
Willig. You take this one actually.
Yeah, Matt Willig. Anybody who's seen, I remember most from Dexter. He played Little Chino. Matt Willig is a big dude. Imagine like if Danny Trejo was like 6 feet taller. Like that's Matt Willig. And he's been in a bunch of stuff. He was in Chuck. He's been in like, he's one of those guys where you see him in like an episode of everything. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, his face looks familiar.
Yeah.
I remember him from Dexter.
Yeah, but he's playing a character called Lash.
Okay.
And Lash is actually a new Inhuman. They created him for this most recent comic.
Oh, okay.
And his basic thing is like an absorbing and redirecting energy kind of thing, if I remember right. That was his power. But
yeah,
so he's going to be on season 3.
Okay. So he's the guy in the cover of Inhumans #1.
Yeah.
He's got the hoodie on, the red hoodie on, and he's got the eyes that are lighting up. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, this Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is kind of, I see it as Marvel's way of going, hey, we don't have the rights. Or actually, I think they do have the rights to the X-Men for TV show, but
TV.
This is the way of them going, hey, we can make money off of this.
Exactly.
and tie it into our own universe. So might as well just make new X-Men characters and call them Inhumans. But that's cool. That's awesome. Do the next one, because this one kind of this caught me off guard. I thought they were canceling it.
Well, there was talk of doing a Mockingbird and her boyfriend, husband, partner, whatever they are now, like doing a spin-off of them, and then they were cast as regulars in season 3, and they put the kibosh on the whole spin-off thing. ABC has apparently said, no, you know what? We want to see a pilot. They want a pilot. They're calling it Marvel's Most Wanted, and they're doing a pilot for those two as a spin-off of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really gravitate towards their characters, so this is going to be interesting. Of course, I'm in for the pilot. Of course, I'm in to see what they're going to do. It doesn't really excite me, though. Be honest, I'm way more excited about the Netflix stuff.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. But, and speaking of that, Alfre Woodard joins Marvel's Luke Cage in the Netflix series.
Yes.
She's the version of Marvel's villain Black Mariah, the nemesis to Luke Cage and Iron Fist in the comics.
Yeah, the comic character is more like a street lord kind of drug dealer character. This version they're going for, they've even changed the name. They're calling her Minetta, and she's more of a political type.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting. It's like more, someone with a little more influence, but still not afraid to get their hands dirty.
Okay.
Is what it looks like they're going for. I'm in. I like Alfre Woodard.
Oh wow, yeah. I'm looking at the comic. It's like a big black girl in a muumuu. It's almost what it looks like.
That was the design for most of it, yeah.
Yeah. The actress isn't that big though, so.
No, that's why. Well, and they're changing.
Right.
They change all kind of stuff, but they're.
Yeah.
I'm as long as they bring the talent, I'm good. And
of course.
And Woodard has talent in spades. She was on LA Law. She's done. God, she's another one that's been on so many things.
Oh yeah, I've seen her on a bunch of things. It's one of those faces that I just might not know the name for, but you recognize it as soon as you see her. But yeah, man, that's cool. Totally in for that. We got some Flash news.
We do have some Flash news. I love this Flash news. I love all Flash news, but this in particular. Violet Bean, who has 2 short film acting credits, and that's it, has been cast as Jessie Quick.
Oh, wow.
Who is an Earth 2 superhero. She's a daughter of a couple of heroes whose names I don't remember, but one of the other speedsters, and wow, I'm terrible. I'm totally blanking. But she's an Earth 2 speedster. She teamed with Wally West for a while.
Yeah, no, you can tell the season 2 it's going to definitely be more about Elseworlds or, alternate realities.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a crisis season. That's exactly what it is.
And that's why I'm really loving your theory about Superman.
Oh yeah.
But we'll get right back. We'll be right back in a second. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast, and we're on the N.FM. See you in a second. And we're back. Yeah, man, but the Flash, dude. The Tom Welling thing, right?
I would just to have him pop in. And just to be like, yeah, this is from my world, or maybe he's from an even different Earth, but just to have him pop in as sort of like this is the way they can sneak Superman into the TV universe. I would, oh man, are you kidding me? Like, I would explode. I would absolutely just go bang right through the ceiling. Like,
oh yeah. Yeah, no, and I was reading that, they were shopping around Supergirl for the CW to do it apparently, but they did. This was back before Flash was even on the air.
Yeah,
and they didn't know how good it was going to be.
Yeah,
and how popular it was going to be. So this was one of the things where they did kind of regret like not putting it on the CW, but at the same time it's on CBS and they still can cross over if they wanted to.
Yeah, they talked to. Yeah, they talked to I forget who somebody. It was at the TCA.
Right.
And they asked whoever was doing the CW presentation, they're like, so what happened here? And he was like, yeah, with the benefit of hindsight, oops.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it would have been cool. I mean, we saw the pilot. It was good. Yeah, man, so we got some more news here. Let's see here. We had Gotham Season 2 trailer. Did you see that?
I did.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I don't like them bringing the Joker on. I don't.
Yeah, I didn't like that at the beginning either. I'm kind of over it now. I'm kind of in. To be honest, I'm ready to see it. To me, it's going to bring some life to the show that honestly had no life. I didn't even. I honestly, I look back at the first season and I'm like, meh, and I don't want to be that guy that says meh and stuff. So I'm not going to say that, but it wasn't exciting for me. And maybe the Joker can make it a little bit more exciting. So it's, I don't know. I didn't even know it was coming back so soon. It really caught me off guard.
Yeah.
It seems like it just went away.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing though, and here's my problem with it, is that this show is supposed to be about Jim Gordon. It's supposed to be about the GCPD, and the Joker is not Jim Gordon's nemesis, he's Batman's nemesis. We don't have a Batman yet. We're not going to have a Batman for 12 years. It's like what they did with Edward Nygma. Like, I want to see these things drawn out. I want to see something like this take way more time than this. I know it's a fine line to walk because then you risk things take too long and they drag and you wind up with filler and so on. I get that. I understand that. But when this is the kind of show you decide to do, these are the kinds of risks that you run.
Oh yeah.
And you need to be able to deal with that. But I don't like that they're throwing in Batman's biggest nemesis before we even remotely have a Batman.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I did see the news as well that what's his name? The guy who plays the main character. I forget his name. I forget the actress playing Gordon.
Yeah.
He was talking. He was at some Comic-Con or something over the weekend, and he actually told the audience, because I guess someone in the audience asked, "Hey, are we ever going to see Batman on the show?" And he said, "Yes, it will be the final shot, the final episode of the thing."
And Smallville all over again.
Right, exactly. And so who knows? That things could change, but. I don't know about Gotham.
No, I was all excited for it. That's another episode of Fat Man on Batman that I loved. Him and what was it? I think it was him and Bruce Timm. Pitched. Yeah. They basically pitched instead of Gotham, they called it Bloodhaven Academy.
Oh, that would have been cool.
And they did Batman in high school. And it was like, oh yes, with chemistry Professor Crane, and like just it was, I loved it. I thought that would have been a much more interesting show.
Oh yeah. That's the thing. If you're gonna do a show with Batman in it, I don't know. You're right. It's weird. In my mind, I keep telling myself it's something else, it's something different, and maybe that's okay. And let's see what happens. But I don't like let's wait until the last episode of the last season to see him put on his cape and cowl.
I like that idea because I was on board. Like, in the beginning, it was like, this is about Jim Gordon and the GCPD. I was like, great.
But it's not, though.
That's the thing. It turned out when they were like, oh yeah, no, actually, we have to have Bruce Wayne, like, really involved in this. That was when I turned on the show. I didn't want to see that. I didn't care. Like, I don't care about young Bruce. I don't.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, is that if it was just about Gordon and it wasn't this huge build-up, for a climax in the last minute of the last episode of the last, that would be, this is just dumb to me. If it was just going to be about Jim Gordon and the police department, I'm all in. I honestly thought Bruce Wayne was going to be like pop up once or twice in the whole show, or the whole season, and I would have been cool with that. But no, he has this like whole, I don't know. Anyway,
no, I was totally
about that.
Yeah, when they decided, when they first pitched it, and it was like it's GCPD Blue. I was like, I'm in, sold. I will watch the hell out of that show. Yeah. And then it turned into this, and I was like, nah, it's not like those. That's the thing, though. The Bruce Wayne parts are pretty terrible. Mm-hmm. The actual Jim Gordon parts are actually really good. Mm-hmm. Like if they just got rid of that crap, but they won't because they've set their course.
Yeah. We got some American Horror Story. Hotel gets a teaser. Did you see this?
I did not.
Okay. Yeah, apparently like the new season has Lady Gaga in it.
Yeah.
My buddy's out in California right now, and he saw them shooting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was at a bar, and that place in Los Angeles, there's like it's like outside, and it's got a whole bunch of street lamps, like all in a row, in like 6 rows. I can't explain it, but they were shooting a scene there too. Say it was the same show. He was like, it was weird. It's like we saw the same show getting, recorded in the same day in 2 different spots. But yeah, I don't know anything about the premise. Apparently, it's in a hotel, and Lady Gaga's in it. And one of the teasers was like this gray. It almost looked like her, like if she was in an outfit, because it was all this gray whatever with these long nails, like tapping on a counter, ringing the doorbell, or not the doorbell, but the bellboy thing.
Yeah.
And it just said like Lady Gaga, American Horror. So, but I don't know. It was a bunch of creepy short clips of like weird things in hotels.
So are you sure that was for the show or for her next tour?
Right, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, so I think that wraps it up for TV.
No. One more.
I saw that Sci-Fi canceled that Haven show.
Yeah, they're letting its last season run its course, and then no more.
Yeah, and that was one of the ones you told me about, I think.
And I still recommend it. I still do. Yep. It's a good fun. It is a little Monster of the Week-ish, so I know you're not big on that. Mm-hmm. But like it does that thing where the first like half of the first season you kind of have to set up, and then it does get rolling. I really enjoyed it, and it only gets better as it goes on. So, this kind of bums me out. I am a little behind, but I like this show, and I hope they talk to I think it was. I don't even remember who it was, but they talked to like one of the writers or the creator or something, and they said that the way that this season ends, it wasn't designed as a finale, but it works as one.
Gotcha.
So, but
that's cool. Yeah, that I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like how Ballers ended. I'll talk about that later. Actually, no. I should say differently because Ballers wrapped up like as if they were never going to do another episode again. But they clearly are. They got to bring that back.
Oh yeah, Rock already announced season 2. Like they start filming in a couple months. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I thought maybe you'd hang in like a cliffhanger or something, and it literally wraps it up like with a bow tie, as if like, okay, we'd never have to hear the story again because it ended pretty nicely. But yeah. So I think that's it for TV, unless I'm missing something.
Fear the Walking Dead broke premiere records. I think that's the only other thing we had.
That.
And didn't just break it, but blew it away. Like,
okay. I see what I did.
Yeah, like that was nuts. Because Better Call Saul had the cable premiere record, and it was like 6.8 million viewers, and Fear the Walking Dead had 10.
Jesus.
Like it left it in the dust. Like that was intense.
Yeah. So wait. So The Walking Dead had it previously, right?
No.
Wait.
But because we're talking premiere, not like records in general.
Okay.
Like record for a series premiere. Walking Dead's was like 5 million. And then, Better Call Saul's was not quite 7. And Fear the Walking Dead was 10.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, dude. It was funny because my buddy was watching SummerSlam, and he was like, I was like, "You gonna watch Fear the Walking Dead?" Blah blah blah. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "It's weird because I haven't heard many people talk about it on Facebook." And I'm like, "I don't know, man. My wall's full of people saying they're gonna see it." But it's kind of a weird spot to have because you had SummerSlam, you had football on, and you had this. So it was like 3 things fighting, and it still got 10 million.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so, and we'll talk about, let's talk about SummerSlam, man. What'd you think of it?
No. We're going to talk about that in reviews, because I consider that spoiler-y.
Okay, yeah, no, and I saw bits and pieces of Raw afterwards, too, so I thought that was cool. We'll talk about that, too. But, yeah, man, it got Shatner with his first official Star Wars cruise.
Yeah,
they're just, oh, did you see the prices?
No, are they
$6,000 for one of the rooms? I think.
Wow, I wonder if I can get the Priceline negotiator to do something about that.
Right, exactly. Here, let me see here.
That's magic. Yeah, I saw that he's hosting the cruise, and I thought he does know he's not the captain, right?
I'm sure no one will tell him that, because I'm sure he'll walk around probably with the captain's hat on. Oh man, but yeah, no, I remember. Oh, $10,000. Yeah, that is insane.
I couldn't even get like a decent fake whistle out. Like it was just air. I couldn't. Wow.
Yeah.
To boldly go where my checkbook will have never gone before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Talk about a 5-year mission, Jesus.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was looking at some of them now, and they're just
that's nuts.
Yeah, let's see. For the highest one for one bedroom is it's not one room, but it's like for one person, 7,500 for the Haven Garden Villa Suite. And you imagine, man. Oh man, the alcohol and everything else on it.
I can't even begin to imagine what that's.
Oh yeah,
like.
You went there, huh?
I couldn't help it. It's such low hanging fruit to do even a terrible Shatner impression, but I can't help it.
Yeah, dude.
I know, but it can't be helped. I'm sorry, but I mean, come on, that kind of money, really?
It kind of sucks. They're just gouging people, and like, wasn't he the one that like kind of shunned Comic-Cons? One of the Star Trek actors did, right?
It may have been him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, no.
All right. Well, we'll take a break. We'll be right back. We'll get into some video game news. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast, and listen to the N.FM. Be right back. And we're back. Oh man, yeah. I don't know. There's so many other Star Trek characters or actors I would love on that cruise. Ones that were really into it. Shatner always seemed like he thought it was kind of a joke, right? Or am I getting the wrong feeling?
I don't know. Sometimes sometimes it seems like he really appreciates it, and sometimes it seems like he just couldn't want anything less to do with it.
Exactly. That's the feeling I get, is that, now that it's like super popular mainstream and it's okay to be a huge fan of it, he's like, "Oh, okay." But I guess back then it just seemed like he was like, "No, I want to be something else." So I would like, Jonathan Frakes or Patrick Stewart or LeVar Burton. Could you imagine? Brent Spiner. Like, I would love I guess I'm just a next gen fan.
Hey man, that's fine. It was the
Will
best
Wheaton.
series.
Right. Will Wheaton, like, oh man. Michael Dorn, that would be a cruise. Sign me up for the next gen one.
There we go.
Yeah. But man, we got some video game news. We got some games that came out this week. I'm curious if you're interested in any of them. We got Until Dawn.
That looked interesting. I totally forgot that came out until it came out, and then I was like, "Oh, damn, that's right. That was that thing that looks really freaky."
Oh yeah. And I saw it was like 10 gigabytes more than Metal Gear Solid 5.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's insane to me. Apparently, there's like hundreds of different endings you can do.
Yeah. Well, hey.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna pick up that. But that's gonna be one of those I hold off on. I'm definitely want to play it, but I'm gonna be playing it later.
Yeah.
It kind of, it's one of those, like, it's kind of like the Tall Tale type games, right? Where it's like you kind of choose your own adventure.
Well, yes, but no. Like, this is way more interactive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, remember they did a demo of this at, was it E3? Yeah, I think it was.
I remember seeing it.
Yeah, where it's very interactive. Like, the choices are like QuickTime events instead of like in Telltale games. No, this is very, it's much more video game than Telltale games are, but the choices are just as important.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of I played a game kind of like that recently. I just forget the name of it for some reason. I never actually finished it. It was Capcom's version of a Tall Tale game. Oh God, this is gonna bother me.
I can't help you. It's not coming to me.
Shoot. Hold on a second. You take the next news.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna jump a little. You're more Destiny qualified than me.
Yeah.
I'll jump around a bit. We have the Pokken tournament, the fighting game with Pokemon, got a release window for Wii U, and it's coming spring 2016. So
that's the fighting game, right?
Yes, it's a 3D fighting game with Pokemon, and it's kind of the Pokemon game that aside from like an MMO, I think this was the second most called for, like, kind of Pokemon game.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it makes sense. They're fighting games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be interesting.
Man, they got to be coming out with that MMO soon, right?
Never. It'll never happen. No.
Just too much money on the table.
Not in the next 5 years. I'll guarantee you that. After that, all bets are off. But I guarantee you, not in the next 5 years.
No. Yeah, you're right. Eventually Nintendo will wisen up. Because I thought maybe they'd do something like a RPG on the Wii U, but it doesn't look like we're gonna get that. I'm thinking maybe their next console.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see.
Let's see here. What else we got? Oh yeah, Destiny. Yeah, I'll be brief on it because I talk a lot about Destiny, but they've been little by little putting. Oh, by the way, the game I was thinking of is Life is Strange.
Oh, okay.
Square Enix.
Yeah,
and it was really good. I played like 2 episodes of it, and I was shocked at how much I enjoyed it.
Nice.
Yeah, it has. I mean, they talk a little bit like adults writing kids, like teenagers. But I don't know. I thought it was good. But yeah. So anyway, back to Destiny. So they have they released a few trailers, and we finally heard Nolan North for just a second as the new Ghost. And they actually, it was weird. Today they had like an Instagram thing where all day on Instagram they were releasing new exotic weapons that's going to be in the game. That the Zur guy or whatever, every weekend he comes. I think it's Thursday or Friday. Every Friday he shows up somewhere in the tower and the reef, and he's got like exotic weapons or armor or whatever for you to buy, and it's different every week. And it was just kind of showing some of the armor and weapons, and one of them was the one that is the probe or whatever on Mars, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's right. They made one. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, they made like a heavy fusion rifle. So anyway, I don't know. So they were showing that. They were just showing more trailers. You know, they're going to be Destiny every single week. They're doing live live Twitch Let's plays of the new content, and then I don't know, they're showing a whole bunch of stuff on social media, so it's getting a lot of the people who were invested in Destiny in it. I don't know how it's going to do getting people back. The main thing that I've seen, and the push that they keep trying to do, is they're trying to get people that were like, hey, we know that you played for a few months, and then you probably traded the game or didn't play it anymore or deleted it from your hard drive, but this is the game we wanted to actually release a year ago. Because and that's the thing, is you don't even have to get the Taken King. You're going to get all the new stuff. Even if you just have the old one. And by that I mean the updated missions, how they're given to you, how you're given lore, how the new ghosts, all that stuff. It's all going to be there. You don't have to actually get the new stuff. So I don't know.
That's a massive update patch.
Dude, this is the first time I've ever seen a game do this, except for like World of Warcraft. When World of Warcraft, around like expansion 3 or 4, it was Catalysm. They completely changed the game from bottom to top. New graphics, new everything. I've never seen this happen. I never thought this would happen to a console game. You know, from the ground up, but just different.
Yeah, well,
which is good.
Hey, you know, I'm all for this, but it sets a dangerous precedent.
I don't think many games could do this. This is Bungie's big, you know, how much money they spent on this game is insane. So they have the 10-year plan. I don't see them going back and doing this with like any other kind of game. There's nothing on these systems that has a platform like this, if that makes sense.
No, and I agree. I'm just saying it does kind of put the idea out there. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, now you can go back and you can completely redesign your game if you have the capability.
Right. Like yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
It's not a slippery slope. I don't think this is suddenly going to start a cascade of all this stuff. But
I think it's because it's more like an MMO, and that's why it's more of a platform than a game, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. Yeah, it does.
It's because, for example, if you got the Taken King now, I think it's $60 when it comes out. You're getting everything. You're getting from the beginning till you're up to date. And I think what they're doing, actually it was confirmed. They're putting on there, when you get the game, you can boost a character to level 25 automatically. So you don't have to do any of the beginning stuff. You can jump right into the game with everyone else. Huh. So that was cool. You get one character, you can boost them to level 25 and jump right into all the new content. So, you know, me personally, I'd rather, if I just got the game, I'd want to start at level 1 and kind of work your way up. But it's one of those like, hey, jump it right up.
Well, I mean, that speaks to what you were talking about earlier. People, you know, somebody kind of like me who would have had it, you know, I think I fired it up maybe like 5 or 6 times. So I would want to go back to the beginning. But yeah, somebody kind of like me who had it for 2 or 3 months and played it fairly frequently, you know, right. they wouldn't want to go back and be like, oh, I got to do all this all over again. Like they would hate that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's going to get back, you know, and it's cool because you can have 3 characters. So like I'll boost one of mine up to 25, and the other one I think is at like 10. So I'll play him. And hey, Logan, if you get the game again, I'm not kidding. Like I have a group of people that play all the time. You'll always have someone to play with, and that's the other thing. Like listening, if you ever want to join me in Destiny or anything, my PlayStation handle is Addy Adam. I think it's Addy Adam. It's 2 Addies, right? Yeah. It's ADDYADDYADAM. So if you're listening, add me on PlayStation. You know, put in the message, you know, We Geek Podcast, and I'll know who you are. So add me. I play Destiny all the time. So jump in, play with us. You'll always have someone to play with. So, well, that's cool. Yeah. So that's it for Destiny news. I'm sure there'll be more next week. There is a lot. There was a lot coming out with Kojima. Did you see the new trailer?
I didn't,
Okay.
actually.
Yeah, no, there was just a lot of the trailer basically you could tell he kind of put it together himself. Had nothing really to do with the studio, because he's not there anymore. But it wasn't like a fan made trailer because it was done really well, but it was a lot of clips from the old Metal Gear Solid games.
Nice. Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, and we've talked about it before. I've only played Metal Gear Solid, so all the other games are I'm such an idiot. I thought this was the same guy from Metal Gear Solid in this game, and it's not. Some guy named Big Boss.
Yeah,
it's his dad.
Yeah, it's his dad.
Yeah, so man, it's
well, that's because
they look the same.
Well, yeah, they're clones. Solid Snake is a clone of Big Boss.
Oh yeah, dude. I've watched 2 videos where it's like, this is the history of Metal Gear Solid, or this is this is the order of history.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, people this is the. I'm sure when people are playing the game, they're like, this is awesome. This game is amazing. But in my head, I'm like, this is the dumbest plot I think I've ever heard. But people love it. People love it.
And yet you look at some of it, and it's kind of frightening because you think about this like 20 years ago, the stuff that was being thrown out there was insane. It was genuinely science fiction.
Yeah.
And yet, we're kind of seeing that not everything in there was crazy.
Right. No, exactly. And
which I think is way more terrifying.
Right, and it got me thinking, I loved Metal Gear Solid. That was one of those defining moments in video games for me, because that changed the way I kind of thought of video games. That game, that was one of the first games where I sat down, and a buddy of mine lived down the street, came over, and we played it, and it was one of those, we stopped, he went home, and I wouldn't play it until he came back over because the story was really good. We wanted to know what happened next. We would take turns playing it, and it was one of those wow, a game can do that. It can actually be and I joked just a few minutes ago about the story, but I remember playing it and being enthralled in the story and wanting to know what was going to happen next, and getting through it. It felt really good to play, and so yeah, dude, it was just one of those games that changed everything for me. And turns out I wasn't alone. A lot of other people felt the same way.
Yeah, the first Metal Gear Solid was definitely a game changer.
Yeah.
And especially for me in particular, because that and Final Fantasy VII, I dove into at the same time. So that, just both of those, all of a sudden I saw all these things that video games could do, because I wasn't an RPG guy on the SNES.
Right.
Super Mario RPG was pretty much it. But
same here. I was a platformer, on the SNES.
But seeing these two in particular, it was just man, I can't wait. What's next?
Oh yeah. Well, hey man, we'll be right back. Take a quick break. Again, you listen to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. All right, and we're back. Yeah, man. So, God, this whole story with Kojima and everything else, it's really, I want to know that story when it eventually comes out. And
it's a fascinating story.
It really is, and the hype's kind of, I wasn't on board. Metal Gear Solid. Like I said, I only played the first game, so I was in love with it. But ever since then, I haven't played any of them, just bits and pieces of it. And all the reviews, dude, have you seen, every site's either giving it anywhere between a 9 and a 10. I didn't see anything less.
No, and
9.5.
I don't know. I look at these reviews and I'm thinking, I understand. I get it. I see the elements they're talking about and everything they're looking at and everything. And I'm just thinking, I just don't know if this is my kind of game.
Right.
I can look at some, it's one of those where I could look at it and be like, yes, I see why so many places said this game is perfect or near perfect. I totally understand that. It may come down to being just a personal thing for me.
Yeah.
But that's, we'll see. I'm definitely going to play it.
Same here. I mean, I was on the fence of getting it or not getting it because it didn't, I was like, the first game, great. The rest, I didn't know the story, so I was like, I'm going to jump into this being so confused. And then when I found out that it wasn't the same guy, and I'm like, wait a second, what? And then I found out, apparently, he is the big boss who has 3 clones.
Yes.
and then there's Raiden on the side, right? So there's
Right.
Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, and
Solidus, yes.
right? And so I don't even know. So anyway, I guess
if you get a chance, you don't have your PS3 anymore, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay, but you do have your 3DS, yes?
Yeah.
Pick up Metal Gear Solid 3D.
Okay.
Because it's the origin story of Big Boss.
Okay.
Snake Eater, for anybody. That's
Right.
because it's the way they chronologically the way they're laid out is Snake Eater, Peace Walker, then Metal Gear Solid 5, both parts, then the original Metal Gear. Like everything, like 3 and then everything post 4,
Right.
minus Revengeance, have all been prequels, essentially.
Yeah. And so that's basically what I got when I watched the video. And
Pick up 3 on the 3DS, and
Okay.
and the controls work. Like I rented it. It was another one I got from GameFly actually just a couple weeks ago, and it's a little strange, but they've mapped it out in a way that once you get used to it, it plays just fine. And I loved 3. I really did.
Yeah, man. I'm excited about getting this new one. And I'll check that one out. Yeah, I haven't booted up my 3DS in a while. But yeah, dude, it's this Metal Gear. It's the hype's real. Like I started looking at some of the Let's Plays, and there's the kind of funny guys do it, and they don't spoil anything. They talk over it the whole time, but you kind of get a feeling of one of the missions where he has to go get something. I forgot what, like, he has to go, there's a target, and he has to mark all the people ahead before he gets there, take them out. He attaches a balloon to them, and they fly up in the air. And he has to take out the target. He does, but like his extra goal was to get this cassette recording, and it's playing like, I don't know, it's like American Girls or something like that. Like some ridiculous song. And I just thought this is really cool. Like the mechanics looked spot on. But I don't know. I'm excited to get it. When something gets that high of scores, just all over across the board, gotta get it. So I pre-ordered it or whatever on the PlayStation Network. So it should be installed or whatever next Tuesday. But the other games, did I even get to that? Yeah, we talked about Mega Man Collection, Until Dawn, and Madden. I should be getting Madden this weekend. You don't play Madden, do you?
I don't. No.
You don't? Okay. What about Mega Man Collection? You interested in that at all?
No, because I've played them all on the other 27 collections that they've released. Like this
exactly.
I mean, they've added the new ones and the remaster. Look, this is like every other Mega Man collection all put together. Yeah. And like the newer versions have just kind of like overwritten the older ones. That's all. Like I would be way more excited for an actual new Mega Man game that they're not going to make because Capcom hates its fans.
Yeah.
But
yeah. We got Cliff
Blazinski. Cliffy B.
Blazinski.
Cliffy B.
Yeah, no, he was in the news because anyone that follows his Twitter knows he says some outrageous stuff sometimes. But he got real for a little bit and like started explaining a lot of some behind the scenes with Gears of War. And so he did I think he did like one of his he did like a hashtag Gears Facts.
Yeah,
I want to read a few of them. He was like, before I pitched it to Microsoft, I did a bunch of push-ups in the hotel and listened to Eminem's Lose Yourself. Because, dude, bro.
Yeah.
It says, Marcus was named Phoenix because I lost everything from my failed marriage and was rising from my own ashes. A lot of it was, you could tell a lot of this had to do with his personal life, with his divorce and whatnot. Said Mad World was my anthem when I was going through the failure of my first marriage. Somehow marketing felt this and suggested it as, their song. So he also said the other song was My Immortal by Evanescence, but it was way less cool. So
that's true.
I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yes.
Got a release date.
Yes.
November 15th.
I am excited. I am very excited.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So man, I still don't have a Wii U. Eventually,
Man, I don't know if I should, because I don't know what's going on with Nintendo Cross. I would recommend getting a Wii U because there's some good stuff on it. But
right.
if the NX is gonna actually play Wii U games, then wait.
Yeah, might as well wait. That Mario Maker though, man, whew, that looks like a ton of fun.
It does.
That looks like it could probably be, if I had a Nintendo Wii, that would probably be my most anticipated game of the year. But yeah, we got some PS Plus free games this month.
Yeah, for September. Yeah.
For September, okay. Grow Home.
Yes, that was the when Sony was like, "Hey, vote on one of these three to be included," and Grow Home won. There was a couple others that I was like, "Oh, these look kind of cool," but like Grow Home was like the favorite from the beginning. Like that
really? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I didn't pay attention to which ones were up or which ones they wanted to do. They all looked kind of like I've never heard of any of these before.
Yeah.
But then again, I never heard of Rocket League, and that was a blast.
See, there you go.
Yeah. So, I never put it down or anything like that. I love this PlayStation Plus stuff. It's fun to just have free games.
I know we'll probably, like, once more people listen, they're going to be like, why don't you guys talk about games for live? For two reasons. One, neither one of us has an Xbox. And two, because the games for live new games were already given away free on PS Plus. So, the new ones for next month are Tomb Raider and a couple others that I don't remember. But that was their big one, and it was like, hey, we got that like a month ago.
Right, yeah. I think the ones this month for Xbox, it was actually Metal Gear Solid, right? Ground Zeroes.
Well, no, that was PS Plus.
No, I'm saying the games for gold this month.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. It was
right.
Or no, that was again, that was PS Plus last month. I'm sorry.
Right, yeah. No, I know. I'm just saying, in case you are listening, that's I guess what the one for Xbox One. Same with or the 360 had Metro Last Light and Metro 2 2030. Did you ever play those games? 2033.
I did, and I wasn't interested.
Never played them. That's one series that I never played, the Metro games.
They're kind of Fallout-ish.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, they just weren't for me. Like I know a lot of people who were really into them.
Yeah, I saw a funny meme. It was a lot of people were talking about how like the Metal Gear Solid 5 is getting all these Game of the Years, or I'm sorry, all these 10 masterpiece. So probably a game that would Game of the Year, and like people were like, no, Fallout's coming out, and it had the guy from Godzilla, and it was just like, let them fight. Yeah, I thought that was great. But yeah, no, we got Grow Home, Super Time Force Ultra, which looks fun. Was it Xeno Drifter?
Zeo Drifter, yeah,
Zeo Drifter. No
Tesla Grad.
You take them.
Yeah, I don't know what any of these games are. Like none, and that kind of excites me. I like looking at games and being like, hey, that's new, that's different. Like I love looking at stuff where I'm like, it's not all AAA titles. It doesn't all have to be, and it shouldn't all be. So
right.
I'm very down for this.
Yeah. I mean, I like that a lot of them are just like, hey, here's a game you might have never tried.
Yeah.
And now it's free, and you can use it. So
there you go.
I think I've heard of Super Time Force, or is it? Maybe I'm thinking of some other game. It was the one where it was like an 8-bit side scroller, but it was with like people from movies. Like it was. What was it? No, it was like Bro Force. That's what I'm thinking. Bro Force.
Okay, sure.
Have you ever heard of it? Broforce was here, let me pull it up here. It was a side-scrolling gun game, but it had characters from, it couldn't have Rambo, but it would have, like, his exact Dude Bro copy of Rambo.
Okay.
Yeah, here, let me give you a list of the characters. It just went away. But yeah, no, it basically was just like the generic, Conan the Barbarian. It was the Boondock Bros, Brochetti, Bronan the Barbarian, Ellen Rip Bro. Yeah, it was all the just stereotypical like action, bro hard, Rambro. I could go on and on. There's a whole bunch.
This game brought to you by Barney Stinson.
Exactly. Yeah. Bromax, Broheart, the Broketeer. Yeah. Jackie Bro, Troll Bro. Yeah, so anyway. Oh, there's Bro Jenner. That's different. Snake Broson from Snake Poseidon. Bro Dread. Brodrade, which is Blade, I guess. I don't know. I'll stop.
It's endless. Those could go on and on.
Yeah, dude, they got RoboCop, Indiana Jones. There's a whole bunch of but yeah, so all right, man. What other news we got here?
One last piece of game news. JB Hi-Fi, which is an Australian game retailer, they've started putting up like little homemade signs on all of the Metal Gear Solid 5 displays that read a Hideo Kojima game, since Konami took the Kojima logo off the box art and everything.
I saw that.
They're like, no, screw you. This is a Kojima game. I was like, I wish GameStop had the balls to do that, but they don't. So.
Yeah, they don't. No, I saw that. Big letters, that was really cool. And some other places followed up too. So I thought that was cool.
Interesting.
But yeah, man. So that wraps up games. Some cool news. We're gonna come back and we'll talk more about some comics and get into some reviews. So thanks for listening to We Geek Podcast on theN.fm. We'll be right back. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast. We'll get into some comic stuff, man. So before we get into any of the news, what have you been reading, man?
I kind of fell off this week in terms of news stuff. Mm-hmm. I didn't read any of the Secret Wars stuff. I did read New Batman.
Cool.
That was neat. I like what they're doing with that.
Oh yeah.
Snyder and Capullo, come on. You can't. This is a team that will go down in legend, and they deserve to. It's magnificent. And I've been catching up on some of Capullo's earlier work. I've been reading a lot of Spawn still.
Oh damn!
I think I just hit halfway. I'm up to 120. I think I'm up to 125 now.
So you're going through them all, right?
Yes.
Is that what you said before? Okay.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, there's 250 total. Well, like I said last week, they're like, we're gonna put it all out digitally, and I was like, oh, damn, now I don't have any excuse.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Spawn is a series that, it'll run 10, 11, 12 issues of kind of filler, but it's just interesting enough where you're like, I almost want to put it down and walk away, but almost. And then you get to that point where you're like, all right, if they do one more of this, then I'm done. And then they pick up the story.
Yeah.
And it's driving me mad. It's absolutely just making me crazy. But
yeah, man. No, I'm not. I still trying to think of some of the comics that I have that are older. Invincible. I just picked up volume 2 of Invincible, so I'm going through that. I'm reading through Deadly Class, which I'm really enjoying. And you read that last week, right? You talked about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the I'm catching up with Justice League. Have you caught up with that?
I think I'm one behind.
Okay, all right. So you saw where he's Bat God, right?
Yeah, that was the last thing that I saw.
Okay, cool. So yeah, they go a little bit into it in the newest one. I caught up with Action Comics with Superman taking on the cops and being hip and everything. So it's a good one. I really enjoy that book because it just shows just a completely different side of Superman. Just getting punched in the face and having to take it.
Nice.
Archie #2. God, that's probably my book of the week.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah, and I think that moving forward, we kind of talked a little bit about this off air. I think it'd be cool if we do two things. We do, we kind of pick our book of the week that we really liked and that we definitely recommend our listeners to go pick up. And we'll also do like a book club. Like once a week. Like we'll get a volume of something and, we'll both kind of read it and talk about it the next week. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be neat. That's one I would love to see like suggestions for.
Right, exactly.
I would love to see. That's one that I would love to like crack open the fan inbox for.
Good idea. So yeah, let's just say that now. If you have a suggestion for any comic, it can be just a comic book, one issue, or it could be a volume. I'd prefer volume, but pick anything, send it to us. It's wegeekpodcast@gmail.com or our Twitter @wegeekpodcast or on our Facebook group. Send us your suggestions, and if we start seeing a lot of the same thing, we'll pick one. Even if we don't, we'll pick something that is exciting. And I think starting this week, we'll kind of start it off, and I think it'd be cool because I ran by the comic shop over the weekend. Eric was in, and he's going to be there like every other weekend. So I made sure I stopped in, and he suggested this book called The Autumn Lands, Volume 1, Tooth and Claw. And honestly, I know nothing about it. It's an Image book. It's by Kurt Busiek and Benjamin Dewey, who's the artist. And it says with Jody Bellinaire and Comicraft. And I mean, I'll kind of read the back to it. It's like a sci-fi fantasy. It basically on the cover, it looks like animals in an arena fighting, but they're like humanoid animals. So basically it says, when a secret conclave of wizards bringing the legendary hero back from a forgotten past to save their dying world, they get a champion unlike anything they expected and trigger a crisis none of them may survive. From New York Times bestseller writer Kurt Busiek, who did Astro Cities and Marvels, rising star artist Benjamin Dewey, who did I Was the Cat and Tragedy series, award-winning colorist Jody Bellinaire. The Autumn Lands begins an epic tale of survival and adventure in a violent world of wizardry, disaster, brutality, and hope. So I heard it was really good. It was one of the books that actually Aaron talked about on his little like weekly comic thing a few weeks ago. And I don't know, it's and this is one of those Image books where you get like it's like 1 through 6, and it's $9.99. So like the price is great. I thought it'd be cool. So if you want to pick that up or get it, digitally, do that, and we'll come back next week and we'll talk a little bit about it.
Nice, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. And so it would have been great if we started that with Deadly Class, but it's my fault, I kind of goofed up on that. I should be finished with that next week, so I'll actually probably talk about that too. So far I'm loving it. It's just I love the superhero stuff. That's bread and butter when it comes to comic book stuff, but at the same time I really do love these books that are just completely different. And that's what I told them when I walked in. I was like, that's what I got when I got Deadly Class a week back. I'm like, I want something different. He was like, here's Deadly Class. And then when I walked back in again, I was like, I want something cheap, but I want something different. I want to be able to sit down and not be superhero stuff. And he was like, here, Autumn Lands, read it. It's good. And there's some other ones that we might get in the future, like Southern Bastards.
I love that book.
Yeah,
I love it.
See, stuff like that. It's just different. And oh, man, I wish you would start reading Archie, like the new ones. It is so. I just love the way they're written, or the way it's written. Like Mark Waid and Fiona Staples, they just do such a good job with both the writing and the art. I could see this as a TV show. I could see this, or maybe as a movie. Like just the way, I don't know, he talks to the audience, like he breaks the fourth wall. He knows you're there, and I don't know I don't know anything about Archie. I know nothing about it. I don't know if that's how it was, in the past. And what's cool actually is with the comic, it also gives you an old issue of Archie. Like old. Like it's kind of funny just to read through some of it, and it's like, wow, that's what comic books looked like back in the day.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and like I said, man, the Afterlife with Archie that's a really good read too. Maybe we'll do that one of these weeks as our the book club of the week or whatever. But yeah, what else did I read? all the Secret Wars stuff is all bleeding together in my mind.
Yeah.
I read the Marvel Zombies vs. Age of Ultron. Have you read that series?
The last couple. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and it has like, Hank Pym shows up, but he's like 1872 Hank Pym.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I thought that was cool. And I actually picked up 1872, but I haven't read it yet. But I liked the idea of like Westerners, but they're the Marvel heroes. Have you seen that one?
I have, but I haven't read it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, that's the thing. I have a pile here, and it's kind of like, what have I read? What have I not read? Because a lot of the titles, they're kind of misleading. I caught up with Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, Renew Your Vows. Yeah, just a lot of DC and Marvel stuff. And the DC stuff's actually getting me really back into it. Like the Green Lantern stuff is great. Like I really love what they're doing in Green Lantern. And yeah, so I don't know. So yeah, the next few weeks we're going to probably be switching up the comic book section a little bit. Of course, we'll be talking about the news and whatnot. But yeah, man, next week we'll come back and talk a little bit about Autumnlands. We got any news here? We got
couple.
Yeah, did you see now you take this one about The Last Airbender, because I don't know much about it.
Well, there's been like a sequel comic that they've run. I forget if it's on like book. I forget if it's on book 1 or book 2.
Okay.
But they've been doing a comic as a sequel to the show. Okay. And this is just the next chapter in that. It's called Smoke and Shadow, and it's a little more Zuko-centric.
Okay.
And I thought that was cool. We knew about this coming out of Comic-Con. Okay. There was like a brief announcement. Hey, this is a thing, and now on to whatever. But like.
Yeah, no, it's see, I thought they were doing a TV show again.
No.
You don't think they'd do a TV one about this?
No, I don't think they're gonna do like an interim TV series like between Avatar and Korra. I don't think they're gonna. I think they found their home for that with the comics, and that's what they're gonna do.
Oh, okay. So this is like Buffy season whatever.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's good. Dude, it's one of the series that I never watched. I know you did with Airbender and whatnot.
Dude.
Yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea at that time of my life. I just wasn't into that kind of stuff.
Go try it again.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm told, that it's really good. I think I've seen a few episodes of Airbender, but it just never got my attention. Someone was trying to tell me it was like Dragon Ball Z, but it just didn't feel like it.
No. It's its own thing.
Right. Well, I guess that what they meant is that like that's the feeling they got out of it, but
I don't get that at all.
Yeah, I didn't either when I saw it. I was like, no, I don't know about this. Let's see what else we got here.
Let's put the two Marvel items together here.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. The Marvel cosplayers are going to be featured variant artists in October.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of neat. Like that's different.
Is cool.
I'm all for that.
Dude, I'm totally down for that. And Secret Wars is being pushed even later
because, god damn it, like I just
No, when we started this thing, I was like, hey, I want to get every issue of Secret Wars. That stopped.
Yeah, once you found out that was going to be like 400 comics, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, my wallet was like, nope, not going to happen. Nope, can't do it anymore. And now I'm kind of only picking up the series that I enjoy. And, if something looks interesting, or of course if I hear it's interesting, I'll pick it up. But there's a lot of stuff I left to the wayside because it was just too much. It was, it's too long. Like Convergence was 2 months tops, right?
Yeah, but look at what that did for DC.
Right, exactly. Now this definitely has got a lot better reviews, I think, than Convergence has got. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But we'll be right back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you in a second. All right, and we're back. Yeah, man. So we got one more piece of information for comic stuff, and this kind of ties into what we were talking about with the Secret Wars being pushed till October. is DC Comics was down over 2 million on their projected figures for 2015. And the article I was reading was, rumor was that it was just a mixture of excess cost from the move from New York to Burbank, over what was planned, and that, as a reduction in revenue due to the poor performance of the Convergence event. The lack of bump for their June mini relaunch. So, the whole DCU, the YOU, DCYOU.
Yeah, you're right.
just kind of, and it's sad because it actually has some really good stuff. Like, I like the direction they're going in with a lot of their books. I like that Justice League Batman has nothing to do with the Batman, in the regular Batman book. Like, it's weird how they're doing it, and they're kind of getting away from everything being tied together.
Well, look at Superman. Superman was the perfect example of every 6 issues they started some crossover arc, and it drove me up a wall.
Right, yeah. No, that turns people away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's weird, but that was one thing I kept hearing from people at the comic shop, was like different comic shops, not necessarily the one I go to, but hearing in podcasts and everything else that like people just didn't want to buy Convergence books. They were just like, I don't want that. Can I go back to Justice League and whatever? And honestly, I'm kind of I'm feeling that way with Marvel. I'm like, okay, these like side what if comics are kind of fun, but October. When did we start this? Like 2 months ago? It's enough already. I want to go back to reading Uncanny X-Men like normal. I want to go back to reading a lot of these books that they've announced like normal. Have my normal. That's the thing. I kind of canceled my pool list because there's no pool list right now. I want to go back to. All right, I'm going to get this every month and this every month and Amazing Spider-Man every month, and whatever. And it's weird. So this is I don't know, but in a way I'm definitely opening up to a lot of new comics that I wasn't before, because I'm not. Once I stopped doing the whole Secret Wars thing, I'm now like, okay, give me an Image book for $10 this month. The price of 2 regular comics. Give me volume 1 of something Image, and he threw a few just regular #1 Image comics for free, like the Southern Bastards, and I forgot what the other one was. Wicked and Divine, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I hear a lot of good about that too.
Right. And he's like, here's a #1. Just take it.
There you go.
So yeah. But yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to that. But let's get into some reviews now, man. There's anything else more to talk about for comics?
I think that'll do it.
All right, so let's see. And by the way, we're gonna get into spoilers now. So, just a warning.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about the Star Wars thing we were talking about earlier. The Kylo, what's his name?
Kylo Ren. Yeah.
Right, and that he's not a Sith. So
which that makes it all the more fascinating to me.
Right. So he's not going to be doing he's not going to be pushing anybody, not doing any of that. So it's going to be how is he going to be able to control that lightsaber?
That's the thing though. It's not that he's not a Force sensitive. It's that he's not a Sith. Like, he's not absolutely dark side evil.
Whoa. Well, okay, then I guess I was thinking it all wrong. I thought when it's saying he's not a Sith, as in he's not Force sensitive.
No.
That's how I took it.
I read it more as he's not a Sith, as like he's not Darth Vader. He wants to be, but he's not. Like, it's not. That's why his name is not Darth something.
Oh, that makes sense.
He's not a Sith. All the Sith are Darth. So you have Darth Vader, Darth Tyrannus, Darth Sidious, Darth Maul. They're all Darth, going all the way back to Darth Bane. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in uncharted territory here.
And I love it. I think that makes it more interesting to me. I like that news.
I like that. No, you just totally changed my perspective on it, because that's awesome. That's awesome. But yeah, man. So let's see here. I guess I'll talk a little bit about Straight Outta Compton.
That's right. You saw that this week.
Yeah, you nailed it with what you said about it. It was really good. I'm surprised how far they went. how many years they went into it.
Yeah.
Like I didn't expect all the Death Row Records stuff. I didn't expect and they even talked about at the very end. They mentioned Apple. I thought, oh shit, they went to current stuff. So I thought it was great. I thought the actors were good. The guy who plays Snoop Dogg, I thought was like, no, that's not Snoop. But then again, how close could you get to Snoop?
Well, they found somebody who was a bang-on Pac. Like that was,
totally.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. Tupac was great, but just the way there was moments where I was looking at the guy playing Dr. Dre, and I was just like, oh wow, it's not like he was copying his mannerisms, but you could feel that, especially Ice Cube's son, just dead on Ice Cube.
Yeah.
They couldn't have gotten anyone better to play a lot of these characters, and I thought it was just really cool. It's a lot of this stuff people already knew because just the culture we live in and just how everyone knows about everything. A lot of the easy stuff was really cool and sad. It definitely paints them in a different picture than what I think their persona was. As these hardcore, thug, the gangster rappers.
Well, because it gives you context.
It does. It gives you context because a lot of that was the real life, especially Eazy-E. I really liked how, and I've heard the story before, almost verbatim of how they did in the film. How Eazy-E wasn't a rapper. He didn't want anything to do with it. He sold dope. And so, when Dr. Dre needed some money to kind of do something, he bought into it. He was like, okay. And he's like, why don't you be a rapper? He brought that group in to do the rap song that Ice Cube wrote. And the group was like, no, we don't know what any of this stuff is. And so when they left, they were like, Easy, why don't you do it? You could do it. And they recorded one line at a time.
Yeah.
And I thought that was super cool, how they showed it.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of rap's done. Rap's done one line at a time, most of it anymore.
Yeah. It's you could definitely tell when they're live on stage, and it's like that doesn't sound the same.
Yeah, and they because a lot of them write in the booth, they do it as they go.
Yeah, there's some that you could clearly tell. Like Eminem, for example, he's not like that. He knows his stuff backwards and forwards, and he can spit it like crazy. But a lot of the rappers, they're just I don't know. So anyway, I thought it was really cool how they showed that. It definitely made Eazy-E look more, I don't want to say the word relatable, but he wasn't this, I don't know, it made him look less like I don't know the right word, like a character. Instead of a character, he was more human, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And so you could tell, he was gangster and whatever, but at the same time, everyone knows what happened to Eazy-E. He passed away because he had HIV, and that when it hit him, and he was like, "How did this happen? I didn't think this." And back then, they didn't think that could, straight men or whatever didn't think that could happen to them. And surprise, it can.
Yeah.
And so that was a real thing. That was a real thing people were dealing with, still are, but back in the '90s especially. And the police brutality and all that other stuff, it really reminded me exactly what the '90s were like, and during that time frame. And that's when gangster rap was just put on, another level. But we'll get away from Compton. Let's talk more about. Let's see here.
Let's talk about Ballers.
Ballers, yeah, Ballers was great. It's hilarious. What's his name? The Rock, the guy who plays opposite of The Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Coldry or
could be. I don't know off the top of my head.
Colt. God, yeah, you know who I'm talking about. He's funny.
Yeah.
Let me get his name real fast. It is.
But yeah, I know who you mean. It's great.
Rob Corddry. Yeah. Corddry. Hilarious. And I don't want to get too much spoilery because I don't know if you finished it. I think you said you didn't, right? Right. So yeah, it's just it's kind of predictable. It's basically Entourage but with athletes. And there's just a lot of funny actors in it. That's Omar Benson Miller. He's pretty funny. And the guy who plays, I think it's Ricky. No, it's not Ricky. Yeah, it is Ricky. John David Washington. He's probably one of the funniest people in the whole show. Anyway, I love the show. Can't wait for a new season. because I don't know, it's really funny. The Rock is just fantastic in it.
Nice.
Let's see here. Anything else you want to say about it?
No. Like, I'm looking forward to watching it.
All right.
Let's jump into Fear the Walking Dead real quick.
Yeah, man. So, what did you think of it?
I loved it. Like, I like the slow burn of it. I like how this is gonna build and it's not gonna get intense, like super, like you can tell like the next episode is gonna start getting heavy and then it's just gonna keep building until it really gets crazy in the finale, since they're only doing 6 for this season. Like that's
right. Yeah. You can tell by the end of the season all hell's probably gonna break loose in LA, but you know, this is just, it's trickling into it, and I like that. This is a totally different Walking Dead story. You know, we're getting the whole family element and the kid who is clearly mixed up in the wrong. I loved a lot of the explanation. Not explanation, but just, like, a lot of this has to do with drugs. And that's a real world kind of issue, too. Like, there's drugs out there where you hear the news and you see these people biting off each other's faces. And you're like, no, that could never happen, but it's getting a little close.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it literally makes people lose their minds, and, you know, I love that it's tapping into the lore and the mythology of The Walking Dead. And how did this all come about? You know, because all we know is the first seeing of this is that a drug addict went crazy and killed someone. Who knows if she was dead or whatever? We don't know because he was all on drugs.
Exactly.
So it's a cool element. I'm on board. You know, I can't wait for next week. They showed some trailers for The Walking Dead, and it was good too. Let's see what else we got here.
Last thing is all the WWE stuff for the weekend.
Yeah, man. So tell me about it. I saw SummerSlam, parts of it.
I almost want to do an entire show just on this.
Should we?
Because we've got, you know, we're getting ready to run towards the end here.
Okay.
And I just, you know, 2 minutes is not enough for me to talk about this.
Okay, well, hey, why not? Let's do a whole SummerSlam show. When do you want to put it up?
I don't
want to record it?
Your call, man.
You want to do it? We can record it Friday.
Sounds
and
good.
Put it up. We can record it Friday and put it up Friday if you want.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm off, so
yeah. I have so much. Like you had NXT Takeover on Saturday, you had SummerSlam on Sunday, and then you had Raw on Monday, and this is one of those times where I've got.
Yeah, dude. Let's do it. We'll do one of our bonus episodes. So, you know, you guys just heard behind the scenes right there. We'll record it. The goal is to get it up on Friday. So it might be up at Friday at noon. You know, I don't know about your schedule, Logan. I'm off Friday, so I can wake up early and do it. This will actually give me time to see the whole show.
Do that.
Same with Raw.
Yeah.
And
watch NXT Takeover and SummerSlam and Raw. I promise you will not regret it, and you'll get more out of, because I'm going to do a lot of history with NXT.
Okay, sounds good, man. This and for you, those of listening, when this goes up, it all depends if it's going to be on the N.FM, but it's going to be a little different format. It's not going to be a whole show. We might talk half hour, might talk an hour, who knows? But it'll definitely be, you know, on iTunes and whatnot. And yeah, so we'll try and have it up Friday. And yeah, we'll talk about, we won't just talk about SummerSlam. We'll actually go into wrestling. We'll talk way more into detail, and you can go into the history, and we can kind of talk about how we kind of got into it. And I wasn't into it for a while, but I kind of recently got back into it. So, you know, we'll do like a whole spiel, and, you know, might bring it into the show a little bit more, especially when we talk about TV stuff. Especially since we got now Steve Amell running around.
Oh man, just don't. Stay tuned.
Right, stay tuned. So yeah, man, we'll wrap it up. Again, you can reach us at the end. I'm sorry. You can reach us at wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. Again, we're going to be on theend.fm. So go there, listen to us. They got a lot of great DJs. Our Twitter is at WeGeekPodcast, at Adam Estep, and
at the Logan Witt, WITT.
There you go. Add me on PlayStation Network. I'm Addy Adam. And go to our page. Go to our Facebook page. Make a review on iTunes. That's super important. Again, We Geek Podcast. You're listening to us, so you know where to do it. Do a review. You know, send us feedback, and, you know, if you want to jump in, the book that we're going to be reading, this week is The Autumn Lands, Volume 1, Tooth and Claw. So, that's it. Captain?
Captain. 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 Captain.